Welcome back to another morning on the farm. You can hear the manure gutter cleaner and the pump going in the background. I've got heifers fed, cows are fed, morning milking's done. We're just kind of on that tail end of morning chores. The thing we're doing right now is running the gutter cleaner, and that's the item of the day we've got to fix, maintain more than anything today. Plus a little bit of a walk around what we're going to do with this part of the barn, or what our hope might be when the new barn goes up, and even measure for a new bunker. Lots to do. Started what I know is a real attractive place to be. This is our manure pump. What I wanted to do first today though is we wanted to check this connection here. It was leaking pretty good a couple of weeks ago. Lost a bit of hydraulic oil, and we need that hydraulic oil to run this. The manure comes into this hopper there, goes down in, and this big piston pump just is basically like a plunger. So it plunges up, and it closes that door, opens the door to go out to the manure pit, pushes the manure out, the door on the left closes, the door on the right opens, and then it sucks the manure back in. And it just keeps doing that continuously to get that. So, but we definitely need all those connections to hold their own. And it looks like they are. So we're in good shape. We climb up. This is what the gutter cleaner actually looks like. We've got the chain. It runs along the floor of the gutter and basically pulls the manure from around the whole barn. The thing about it is, like, it actually is here. Let me pull this open, actually. It's not an area I do a whole lot of tours to, believe it or not. Maybe you could have cleaned it up for you. But obviously you've got the main engine that goes to a larger wheel that drives, again, a smaller one to go larger. Drive that larger one, drives a smaller one to drive the main one. So all it is building up power in stages here to be able to pull that, because it's pulling, man, there's over 400 feet of chain full of manure right now that it's actually pulling in. The reason I wanted to show you this is what we've got to fix today. See that slack there? That's too much slack. Eventually that's going to get caught either coming back around here, or it's going to get caught there. And so we've tightened it up as far as we can. We reached the end over the weekend. What we're going to do is we're going to have to pull out links. But that'll have to wait until after we finish up morning chores. Nice, I know, showing you a manure system. But it is one of those things that is a very, very important thing inside a barn, to be able to keep it clean and be able to do some of the heavy lifting for us, in the fact that it's just pulling it. And as you can see, those paddles, all they do is just pull it here, it'll dump it in that big pump, and that pump will send it out into the manure pit, where it'll store for several months until we get a good chance to get out and spread that on some of the fields. Well, it is amazing how the best plans don't always work out. We're just gonna feed this little heifer. It's funny, I said kind of what our plan was gonna be for the day, and then before we went in for coffee, I noticed one was having a calf. By the time I came out from having breakfast, a second one had had a calf. So we've had two calves in the last
hour. Both heifers. This one being a purebred Holstein, the other one being a beef cross. The beef cross drank very well. This one's kind of puddling a little bit. She is also newer. And plus Holsteins just are not quite as eager at getting going as those beef crosses. So anyway, we'll keep trying this one. We did get the 2 cows milked. They're up eating now. They seem pretty comfortable. These ones are gonna be comfortable in here for another couple of hours. We'll kind of get things set up for them outside. Yeah, you're not drinking anything. Okay, she had a little. What's that? Oh, a very little bit. Do you have to come into every video? Yeah, I know. Well, let's try. Come on, keep trying. No, just will not drink. So anyway, she's still very new. So what we'll do is we'll give her another hour or two to maybe get used to things. Yes, we're all friends. And in the meantime, I will do my running around to go pick up our parts to actually do the things that I had said we would already do this morning. Oh, okay, we're getting up. No, we're not. Oh, yes, we are. No, we're not. Oh. That did not work very well. All right, we'll leave her. We'll come back and feed her in a little bit. And in the meantime, we will hop in the truck and get a few things picked up. Well, I was going to have a visit with you while I was driving, but it's kind of a bit of a snowy day. Not messy, not terrible, but not exactly the day that I probably needed to do that while I was driving. So instead, I've got my coffee after my trip to town, so we'll have a visit for a minute now. I did get, let me see here. Oh, that's not the right one. Here's the right one. We've got links, chain links for that gutter cleaner. So we'll be able to, what we're gonna do is we're gonna slice it with a grinder, cut one of the links out, shorten up basically to the right length, and then put one of those connector links in, put it back together, and you know, away it'll go for the next several months before we'll have to tighten it again. So that won't be too hard of a job. We'll do that this afternoon after lunch. Also went to pick up, yeah, it might be almost treating ourselves, but basically we have a portable generator that we need to run one of the wells over at Mom and Dad's, the water well that feeds water to the barn. So whenever the power goes out, we run that generator to be able to make sure the cows have water. That generator being, we're guessing somewhere in the 25-year-old range. My great uncle had bought it. He's been gone at least 10 years, was in a home probably 5 years before that. So one of those situations of, we know it's not new by any means, and it's been giving us trouble for the last little while. We could not get it started over the last couple of days. So we bought another one because of course we need it for reliability, but also because we're trying to flood an ice right now, flood a pond, to make what I'm sure is going to be Olympic quality ice in, you know, what we've got for the next week or two in terms of cold temperatures. So do we need it immediately? Maybe not, but, you know, they had it at the small engine store, you know, just not too far from here. So we decided, let's quit fighting with the generators we've got and get a good one and use it for that, and then we'll have it for the well. But the other thing I actually did want to do was answer one of the questions, because it's been fun to get a lot of feedback from either Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram. My handle's Fresh Air Farmer on all of those. So by all means, you know, comment or ask your questions or things like that. As well as there's been some comments down in the comment section underneath that have had some comments. And one of them that I did promise to answer from a few episodes again was, I think it was from John. And his question related to, obviously, as we're building this new barn, what's the reason for expanding the dairy side, for making what's going to be a pretty significant investment in the dairy side? What's the reason for doing that versus maybe expanding on the crop side? You know, his thought was, is it less risky to do that? Particularly given that there's been some trade deals over the last number of years that have kind of eroded what is the dairy market for us Canadian dairy farmers here in Canada, for other dairy products from other places around the world? And it's a great question, and it was certainly one that I couldn't answer in the comment section. When it comes to, why we chose to expand the dairy versus others, my over-analyzing self did actually look at what do we expand, because it is one of those things that this sets, Jess and I up for, what will be our farming future for the next several years. So we want to make sure we were investing in the right thing. We did look at what happens if we expand the crop side instead of the dairy side, or get rid of the dairy side even to expand the crop side. What happens if we build a poultry barn, like a turkey barn? What happens if we do a whole bunch of different things? And it always came back to, we're so set up to be dairy farmers already. Like the equipment we've got, in terms of hay equipment, in terms of other things, we've got the cows, we've got the quota already. We're set up. It's even though it's a big investment, it's a smaller investment than it would be if we were to start from scratch in another area. In terms of the grain side, I don't think by any means it's less risky. For one, like the price of land, we've had a lot of farms sell in this area in the last week or so, and, my pencil just does not work buying a farm, and growing, corn or soybeans or wheat on that compared to, what the dairy barn can do. Partly because, with a grain crop, you are much more at, kind of the whim of what the weather says. If we get a dry year, all of a sudden, we don't have as much crop. If we get too wet of a year, if we get too cold of a year, if market prices aren't as good, there is a lot of risk associated with the grain side. And it is one of those things that what one year does affects the entire year, because we're really only growing one crop per year. Whereas the dairy side offers a little more stability, especially in the fact that, we're shipping milk, or the cows are at least producing milk every single day. The milk truck comes every other day. And so, yeah, we're going to have swings. We're going to have, tougher months and good months, but it balances out a lot more when that milk is coming in, 365 days a year. So it is one of those things. And in terms of, the dairy market, certainly, we still have faith in, our ability to produce Canadian milk for Canadian consumers. And we're pretty confident in that for the next number of years. So we have thought long and hard about it over the last couple of years, John. And it's just where we ended up in terms of what we think is the best for us based on what we're set up. And frankly, I like working with cows. I don't know if I'd like working with turkeys. They don't seem like it'd be quite as much fun as working with cows. Now, a turkey farmer probably is going to disagree with me, but that's just, where we sit. So that's what we're going to do. But thanks for the question, John. We are going to, by all means, take a look at some of the other questions that do roll in, and I'll try to answer them as we go along through this series in building our barn. In the meantime, though, I'm going to finish my coffee, have a quick lunch, and then it's back to the barn. I'm going to cut first because one disc barely does. Yeah. Get it started anyway. And now, Yeah, that was an easy one. Now, scrub up our hands again. And then we'll scrub them up again. And then again. Because they do get a little dirty with that. But it is about the easiest way to make sure that that stays together and is well maintained. Now, the next job I think is the kids should almost be done virtual school. So I think what we'll do next is head out and measure where this bunker is gonna go. Well, help has arrived, my reinforcements. We are going to do some measuring. So as I mentioned in one of the last videos, is right now we store all of our corn silage on the other side of the barn. And once we get those bags cleared up, then we'll put the addition, we'll put the new barn up. Fine, we obviously need room for the corn silage. The corn silage is going to go here, is our hope. The catch is we've got to, well, not even our hope. We are going to put it here. It's just determining how far back do we have to set it into the field, how far back towards the pit, where does it all have to be. So our job now is to measure out what 160 feet long by 30 feet wide with a 10-foot high wall looks like, and that's what our bunker is going to be, and that should do us for the next few years with what we need for corn silage. Oh, hold on tight, Bella. Go that way. Oh, you gotta hold on tight, Cash. Here, hold on tight. Tight, 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 tight. Back up. Okay. Slow down. A little more. Okay. Wait. Good. This is the corner. Can you maybe drag some snow away from your feet like this, buddy?
Oh, we could just use our footprints.
Yeah, just make a big footprint, that's all. Because what's this going to be is, this is the front. So you're the one corner, and you're the one corner, okay? Okay. Next, stay where you are, Bella. So this, take that and go over that way. Find the hut towards the pit. Oh! This way, over here more, over here more. Good, that way. Good, that way now. Over here more. So we've run into, not a problem, but the, keep her rolling, you're good. The problem we've run into is the fact that where that back corner of the bunker is what I was afraid was going to happen, was we're too close to the manure pit, or at least too close to where I want to be. I want to be able to drive around that manure pit when we're basically loading a manure tanker. So what we need to do is we're going to step it off. And I don't know if he's too far in the distance, but no, stay where you are, Cash. Cash, stay where you were. So basically where I said our front corner was going to be here is actually now going to probably be where the one edge is. We're going to move it 30 feet over to where I thought we would. So let's step this out actually. Big footprint, yep. Okay. I'll bring you along for this one. Because the other piece to this is I want to be able to not just have one. We're going to put one up for now, and that's the only one we're going to put up, but I want to make sure we have enough space. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so we can put exactly what I want to do. We can put 3 bunkers up that are each 160 by 30 if we want to still have a little room, because the whole idea is we could put 3 this way and then flip and put 3 on the other side if we ever got to the size where we needed more than 3. But that's a long way down the road, but it's one of those things. It's really important to be able to make sure that whatever we're planning, like a bunker, we don't want to move, obviously. We can't move it later on. So it has to be planned in the sense that what we do today makes sense for the next 10, 20 years, and that's where we want bunkers for good. But that's actually good that all of those fit. Maybe a little further into the field than I wanted, but only by 20 or 30 feet, so that's not too bad. That's a good run. Well, that's gonna about finish it up. Oh, look, help's arrived again. They've been goofing off while I've been milking, although Flour here is the last one. Let's see if we can see a little milk coming in, get the right angle. There we go. She's the last to milk for tonight. Jess is just finishing feeding up calves, and other than a pre-bedtime barn check, that's going to be nice hand, buddy. That's it for us for the end of the day. Bye, everybody.